And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. We've got some coronal mass ejections, some coronal holes, some sunspot reports, and a very diffuse solar wind. We'll start out with that. Here's the magnetohydrodynamic pressure around planet Earth. It's the Geospace Magnetosphere movie. And we've got very, very low pressure around the planet at the moment because we have a very diffuse solar wind. So we'll get to it momentarily. We'll let this play all the way through here. That's the last 4 hours of the Space Weather Modeling Framework's model of magnetohydrodynamic pressure in nanopascals. We look at the Earth geospace, the heliosphere, sunspots, coronal mass ejections, and more on our daily videos. Congratulations on realizing they exist, despite the algorithmic nonsense on YouTube. So looking at the ground magnetic perturbations here, this is also the Space Weather Modeling Framework. It's modeled in nanotesla, which is magnetic flux density. Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. We showed you Earth's magnetic moment from space. Here it is from the ground. Again, the last 4 hours are what you're seeing there. Let's blast through some additional data here and get to looking at the sun. Planetary K-index, a measurement of global geomagnetism, currently at 1 for the past 9 hours. And again, we've got a very diffuse solar wind. Let's take a look at that. Solar wind at the moment, not even 2 protons per cubic centimeter there at 1.93 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind velocity, 435 kilometers a second. Again, solar wind density is the story here, 1.9 protons per cubic centimeter. A very diffuse solar wind density. Next, we'll look at the heliospheric current sheet. Earth is in a south pole current sheet. You can see the north pole one over here in green, south pole one over here in red. Here are the GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. Nothing too remarkable happening there. A little bit higher highs and higher lows. And here's the line of sight view of the current sheet. Again, Earth is in a south pole one. We've got quite a bit of activity in the northern hemisphere. It's mostly been stable. Let's move to coronal holes. We've got some pretty well-defined south pole-oriented coronal holes rotating in here as the solar polar field reversal process occurs. We are still seeing significant magnetism concentrated at the pole, especially the south pole. The north pole, you can see it's moving a little bit off of the actual heliographic pole. And here it is in 193 angstroms. Again, a pretty well-defined south pole coronal hole rotating in here. We can expect a high-speed wind from that in about 4 days. Also some plasma reorientation happening over here, slightly to the west of center. And for you new viewers, we call this side the west, we call this side the east, because this is where space weather rises, and this is where space weather sets. We'll move on to sunspots next. We've got quite a lot of sunspot groups. They've all been relatively stable here over the past 24 hours. We've seen some M-class flares, which we'll get to momentarily as well. Likelihood of major solar flares still quite high. And sunspot 2999 still not showing up with a name on this view. That one ought to be named by yesterday, but that will be sunspot 2999. Let's take a look at that visually. Here is 1700 angstroms. One of the better wavelengths to view the dark umbra that are sunspots. Again, mostly stable here, no major changes happening. A little bit of umbral migration happening here under sunspot 2994. By the way, if you enjoy the content, press like and subscribe. The Smash team thanks you. Yeah, the Smashes of Hazard. Have you seen our music video? Press like, press subscribe, and support the channel via our links. You can find them at smashomash.com. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Links to the Smash team right there, as well as graphically here. You can find the Redbubble shop. Smasho merch is what we're talking about. Today's featured product is Forgive, Remember, and Hold Accountable, because forgive and forget is so 2019, considering how many folks have not been accountable. Do you feel like you're living in a banana republic with two justice systems and rampant corruption and zero accountability? Well, lots of people do. Remember, folks, the best revenge is living well. And here's some words of wisdom. Forgive, remember, and hold accountable. Forgive and forget is just completely outdated. So we'll say that instead. We're also on Twitter if you haven't seen us on Twitter. By the way, our Smash Team annual paid-up subscription is the best value. You can get one of these complimentary merch items and a complimentary @smashomash.com email address by signing up for a 1-year membership. Just make sure you respond to our email, and we will get that sent out to you quite promptly. We are also streaming daily live to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/smashomash. And thanks to everybody who tunes in over there, leaves comments, etc. It's such a great live streaming platform that we use it here at the Smash News Network on the regs. Let's get back to some more space as soon as we show you the homepage, the posts page actually, at smashomash.com/smashteam. If you want to find all of our daily videos in one convenient location, just click on posts at smashomash.com/smashteam. It doesn't require a login or a membership. It's for your convenience because there have been problems with certain video hosting sites not sharing the content. Protonflux remains flatline here despite some M-class flares kicking off. And there is the flare profile. Again, 2 M-class flares happened, one at about 2 o'clock this morning, Universal Time, and one about 4 o'clock this morning. So a perfect 2-hour there. 2-hour interval between 2 M-class flares, one a little longer duration than the other one. 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, we saw some flares. So this is yesterday and today, the 23rd, the 24th and 25th, rather. And right toward the end of the video, there are 2 M-class flares. And those both came out of sunspot 2993. There's the 2 o'clock. And there's the 4 o'clock. So some significant flaring happening there. There were coronal mass ejections as well. We'll get to it in a moment. Let you know the likely trajectory of those. First, a star chart. And if you're up before dawn, you may see Jupiter, Jupiter, what is going on? Give me back control. You may see Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Saturn rising ahead of the sun if you've got a clear sky and you're up before dawn. My star chart faces the south. It's from in-the-sky.org. If you want to make your own, just click on charts. All sky charts, put in your location. Smash staff and I are located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. How about a solar system forecast? Here's where things are now. We're approaching another new moon. And there's where things will be on May 2nd, 1 week from today. And let's move to coronagraphs. So looking at the coronagraphs from stereo A at Lagrange 5 and the Soho-Lasco C3 at Lagrange 1, or Soho-Lasco C2 at Lagrange 1 to see a significant coronal mass ejection here. And it's not earthly directed. So one off to the southeast and one off to the southwest, as you can see there on the Soho-Lasco C2. And from stereo A's perspective, Earth would be off in this direction. That's for all of you new viewers. Thanks for tuning in. We're delighted that you've found the channel. Please press subscribe. Even our thumbnails contain more information than some entire channels. So once again, there are your coronagraphs. Some coronal mass ejections, not earthly directed, just some great fireworks displays there. Some plasma works displays there, coming from the closest star. And that's where we'll close out our YouTube exclusive video. Again, visit us over at smashamash.com/smashteam and click on posts. Put up at least 4 videos today. Thanks for tuning into the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. May that solar wind be at your back. Opinions expressed in this video, not necessarily the opinions of Smash News Network, least busted name in news.